In terms of wildlife and biodiversity, Kenya is endowed with diversity of wildlife and pristine landscapes, ranging from the moorland to the deserts, and from the smallest animal, the mole, to the largest land mammal, the elephant. The rich and varied landscape harbors unique biodiversity and is characterized by high levels of habitat and species diversity. All these features interconnected within the land and the seascapes. The landscapes in Kenya range from the coastal and marine ecosystems to freshwater and saline lakes, tropical montane forests, the savanna plains, and the arid and semi-arid lands. The eastern arm of the Rift Valley runs through Kenya from north to south, creating a series of mountain ranges and saline and freshwater lakes that are home to some of the unique Africa's diverse ecosystems and biodiversity. These in turn provide essential ecological goods and services for the country's human and wildlife populations. The wildlife resources and their habitats are a valuable gift to the nation and for the future generations. Wildlife is a major tourist attraction, accounting for over 12% of Kenya's GDP, and provides many jobs and livelihood across the country. Wildlife tourism has a multiplier effect in other industries such as agriculture, horticulture, transport, and communication. Thus, it improves the economic development and livelihood of the citizens. The biodiversity realm provides products and services which are critical to human existence. Our insects and birds, as well as other small animals, are key transporters of various elements that are required for food production. Their existence and survival is therefore directly linked to secure food production and nutrition. Diversity of Kenya's wildlife resources are indicators of healthy ecosystems and contribute to the stability and resilience of these ecosystems. The variety of these ecosystems make Kenya the richest vertebrate region in Africa and places it at the top of the rank worldwide. Most notable of all this is the region's renowned abundance and variety of large mammals, which is making Kenya to be the greatest tourist attractant and indeed a wildlife maker. Kenya's list of species exceeds over 30,000 but is far from complete due to the paucity of biodiversity surveys and collections. Extinction of some of the wildlife species may result in cascading effects on ecosystem imbalance, either directly or indirectly through various units in the entire food web. Most of the large mammals are flagship species, contributing great value to the regional tourism industry. Securing wildlife, biodiversity, and genetic resource base through proper planning and use of land, as well as the protection of their habitats and movement corridors, is therefore critical for the sustenance of the provisions and benefits from these living resources. Tied to the wildlife, biodiversity, and genetic resources are Kenya's forests, which constitute an integral natural asset in providing overwhelming benefits to the people and the sustenance of natural environment. They are the safety nets and safe havens that are critical for disaster risk reduction and climate change management. Indeed, the link between forests and human development spans various sectors and economies, including agriculture, water, energy, and local community livelihoods. The need to sustainably conserve and manage forest resources is therefore not only a prerogative of the government, but all actors. Forest resources offer a range of benefits and opportunities for local and national economic development and plays a fundamental role in the success of agriculture, tourism, infrastructure, livestock, wildlife, manufacturing, water, and energy sectors. The forestry sector contributes to the national economy, and this contribution is largely unrecorded, as most forest products either are used for subsistence or are traded in the informal markets. Our forest ecosystems and landscapes are interconnected with other sectors, and they also cut across county boundaries and involve multiple stakeholders, including local communities, the public institutions, the private sector, and civil society organizations, and hence their management must be inclusive and participatory as much as possible. They provide charcoal, timber, medicine, fruits. They are the water sources, and the products from forests also provide inputs to the major industries, including steel and medicine, as well as tea, ceramics, lime, and tobacco processing. The forest habitats support a wide array of ecological niches that are rich in both plants and animals. Over 7,000 indigenous plant species are found in Kenya's forests, making them rich reservoir for biodiversity and critical habitats for wildlife and genetic resources. The forests and related habitats are also utilized for worship and for purposes of cultural rites of passage, spiritual and recreation activities, and provide employment to the local community. They support ecological functions such as nutrient transportation, carbon capture, climate change adaptation, and control of soil erosion. They thus boost pastoralism and agriculture. The forested water towers are the source of the most reliable rivers and lakes and supply most of the nation's water. Rivers originating from the Kenyan forest water towers supply approximately 15.8 million cubic meters of water per year, which represents approximately 75% of the country's renewable surface water resources. The forests contribute over 1.4% of the country's GDP annually. Despite these benefits, our forest resources are under immense pressure from illegal harvesting, encroachments in these protected areas, human settlement, agriculture, and livestock production systems. In terms of their management, the fourth schedule of Kenya Constitution provides for the distribution of functions between the national government and county governments. The Constitution further grants the county governments the powers to ensure and coordinate the participation of local communities in governance of forest reserves within its jurisdiction through capacity building.